Hey guys, my name is Alan, just Alan, and welcome to My Couch Academia. And today I'm here with
Raised Alva,
and today we're gonna talk about My Hero Academia chapter what?
chapter 277. That's the latest chapter.
That's the latest chapter. A lot of things happen in that chapter, man. A lot of things.
I mean, it's definitely wild, and I think it's feeding into a lot of shit that a lot of us were thinking about, a lot of stuff, or ish. I'm not sure if we're cussing here, but you know,
I mean, we can.
we're all
I'll,
adults.
I'll try to keep it to a minimum cursing based on the last video. I apologize for that. I'll try to.
We'll keep it kosher.
Yeah, but let's recap, or like let's just review the episode. What you think about the episode? I mean, chapter, Raymond.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because I really like this that we're about to do now because we could talk about it. You know what I mean? It's just like two homies, even though we're brothers. It's two homies just talking about it. This chapter got me all types of feelings because it kind of makes me feel like a lot of other stuff that I've seen, other shows. It kind of reminds you like the overtones, right? The student is about to lose like their teacher and whatnot, like that type of stuff. It's interesting, right? It pulls at your heartstrings. But one thing that I find interesting about this is that, how can I put it? Deku at this point isn't in anywhere near a level to really help his teacher.
Yeah, he's not.
Like, he's not there. And they're trying to make it seem like, oh, he's stepping up. And this might be kind of like what All Might wanted. Remember at the tournament? Well, at UA, when he says that this is when you present yourself to the world, right? When I like 2 weeks ago, or like 2 chapters ago, I thought that this, when I saw the helicopter, I was like, oh, this is going to be like when Deku presents himself to the world, right? And from what it's looking, what we saw this chapter, it's not going to be that way. Yeah. We saw Deku pull a fucking bus, but it's not going to be that way. We saw that Shigaraki just tugged at Deku with Black Whip, and it was like nothing. We saw Shigaraki laugh at Bakugo's machine gun AP, whatever shot, and he was sunning them. He was laughing at them. We saw what he did to Endeavor. So it's been very telling, this chapter, just to say the least.
Yeah, it's been a crazy chapter, and the crazy thing is that he's doing this while Eraserhead is like erasing his quirk.
Yeah, so he just has his natural strength.
Yeah, he just has his natural strength and like the regeneration quirk, and that's all. And possibly something else, Alan, possibly. We don't know. I honestly, we don't know. But there's a lot of things that happen here. Like, there's a lot to talk about. Like, let's say, like, when the All for One moment happened.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That was an interesting moment. Like, what you think about that?
We talked about it a little bit before we started recording. And, you know, I know that Alan and me, just like, we both want to hear as much from you guys as much on this as possible as well, because we have so many thoughts and we want to bounce ideas off of you guys as well. We want you guys to be involved. But All for One is in jail, but he's as involved as any other character in this whole fucking story, right? So like, you have All for One, he's smiling in jail as this is going on. He's shown us, and as we were talking in this episode, we get to see that there's a lot of similarities between All for One and One for All, right?
Yeah.
We see that there seems to be the same thing with the vestiges that happens with One for All. It seems to be happening with All for One. And we talked about a lot of details, and hopefully we could get to all of these little things, possibilities, and the speculation we were talking about.
We're trying to keep the video a little bit short than usual, you know?
Yeah, than our first one. But, I mean, we see that Shigaraki is moving based on instinct, and we see that it's not really him, and we see that at one point he calls Deku little brother, and he wants One for All from Deku. And then we see that Shigaraki notices that this isn't him, and it isn't his will, and that it's actually all for One that is actually, you know, kind of trying to pull the strings or push him towards things. And we see Shigaraki resistant to it.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that we were talking about and that you brought up was about
the like the 75%.
Yes.
It's like a data transfer.
Yes. And when you brought that up, I was just like, yo, let's look back. And we went back and we saw it. And it's basically almost where Shigaraki was, you know, downloaded or evolved to. It was 75%, right?
Yeah.
And we see that
are you talking about the scene like where we see All for One?
Shigaraki,
when, but we don't see his face.
When we don't see him, he says he looks like Kurogiri. It's basically from almost like around the neck up.
Yeah.
And we just started like speculating and looking at this image, and we're like, yo, wait, this is like about 25%, you could say.
Yeah.
And this is what was left or interrupted of his download or his upgrade or his evolution.
Yeah, because if the quirk was from All For One, and let's say it's a data transfer, you would think that he is technically transferring himself to Shigaraki, right? So 75% was left, meaning that the only part that was left was like the mind, All For One himself. But it didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, because it looks like he is somewhat controlling Shigaraki or helping him do things that he doesn't even know that he has in him, just based off of instinct. But then it also looks like Shigaraki could fight it and could like push it back and not let it, take over control over him. Now, another thing that and then when you said that, I brought up to you, the vision that we see at the end of season 5. And also the in the manga, when we see that Deku sees the vestiges and he sees the original One for All and All for One, the two brothers, and Deku is at about what he says at that time, which is about 25%. And we see that also Deku is around the mouth.
Yeah, he's like around the mouth.
And you brought up an excellent point as well, that we see when Deku is at around 25%, we see that his hand is also cleared, because that was where at one point during the tournament, they took control over that hand. So he's not completely 25% because it's still covering his mouth, but the hand is sort of liberated in a sense.
Yeah.
And we found it very interesting because these two quirks parallel each other a lot. So of course this is all speculation.
Yeah,
this is like headcanon.
This is just us like
this is
speculating.
just us having fun. Yeah. So
totally.
Let us know in the comments what you think. If you think we're dead wrong, we're more than happy to listen to anybody.
Or if you
out.
want to elaborate to this, elaborate, just let us know, because I'm curious myself to know what's gonna be the end result of this.
But I mean, it's so interesting, and maybe, like you said and you brought up, is that, let's say, for example, if All For One would have completed this number, it stayed at 75 when they interrupted Shigaraki's evolution or whatever they were doing to him, his upgrade. But what if it would have completed and it maybe would have transferred fully All For One into Shigaraki in a quicker, more expedited way? Because All For One, I always mix that up.
Yeah, even
All For One seems very, very cocky and very arrogant that he will be leaving Tartarus jail.
Way too cocky.
He seems very confident in that. So to me, the fact that he believes that is because Shigaraki escaped. And for those that don't read Boruto, and haven't been reading Boruto, we're gonna bring up some spoilery stuff from Boruto. So if you're not up to date to the chapter, it might be a little bit of a spoiler for you. But we're gonna dig into not specifics about like the most current maybe, but we're gonna jump into it a little bit. And it has to do with karma. And for those that don't know, karma in Boruto is basically a seal that allows people, these beings, these celestial beings. Let's not go into the specifics of what they are, but let's say these celestial beings to transfer their consciousness and their power and pass it on to another being. And basically that being will turn or evolve into that old person's form or that old celestial being's form once the transfer is completed. Now, we brought this up and we started, throwing back and forth about this. Do you think it's possible, Alan, that this is what somewhat All For One is doing?
I couldn't believe it. The problem is now this is the main question, is because in the karma seal, how it works is that the owner, or better said, the celestial being has to die by the hand of somebody, and the karma seal appears on that person that killed the being, right? So in this case, it's different though. All For One is still alive. Shigaraki is still alive, and he has All For One's powers. So it's a really confusing thing, but when you actually think about it, it does make sense in a weird way. If we actually go with the data transfer, like a little bit theory, and it does make sense. But the question would be if it was to reach 100%. Will All For One die? Or would he just transfer Shigaraki to All For One's body? We don't know. I don't actually know.
I mean, as we see with the whole way that One for All works with Deku, it seems like more of a community thing, right? It seems like it's more of like they're helping him out and they're like holding Deku down so that he could get things done, right? Whereas you get the feeling with All for One that he kind of wants to maybe, and we've talked about this, I'm telling you, we have so many dope conversations off of this. That's why we even wanted to do these videos, is because we talked these points that nobody else we hear talking about, and we wanted to bounce off for you guys. But when you look at the whole Obito, Madara, Kaguya, Black Zetsu situation, it was like double crossing between allies. And we could have a very much similar situation as to when Black Zetsu double crosses Madara, and then we get Kaguya, right?
Yeah.
He kind of like is reborn after the person's dead. So one thing that I thought a lot about was that when we see the vestiges inside of Deku, we haven't seen second and third. We have seen everybody else, and we've seen All Might, but we've seen him kind of like in a cloudy, yellowy kind of like version. It's not like he's fully there, because what I believe is that it's because he hasn't died. He hasn't passed on. And once he passes on, he'll probably appear within there, and it's a sentient thing, right? Like, it's very much alive. So my biggest thing about it is, do you think that for him or for All for One to actually appear, similar to All Might, do you think that he has to die to completely appear? Or do you think it's more of a download thing, the way we were talking about earlier?
I think it's more of a download thing. That's what I feel. That's me, my own opinion. What I think it is. Like, I believe that like he's downloading himself to Shigaraki. But there was one thing that you brought up, I think yesterday, that you said that was like, and trying to remember what it was, but it had to do with All for One, and it was like he never passed his quirk to nobody else. Like that we don't know of.
Yeah.
Like, we only know that the only person that he passed his quirk was to Shigaraki. So it's like, I don't know. Like, honestly, I'm curious myself to know, like, would he appear like fully like in Shigaraki's mind or what?
I mean, because the Dr. Ujiko does say that All for One has a synthetic version of All for One.
Yeah.
So it's not like the original. The original Shigaraki has it. And one thing that I even brought up to you before we started recording, is a little speculation of mine, or maybe like future thinking about it, is that what if All for One, every time that he takes a quirk from someone, is creating a new vestige or is taking part of that person's body or soul inside of them? And you didn't want me to talk more about it beforehand, but we'll talk about a little bit about it now. And the reason that I bring that up is because he did fight Nana Shimura, and we see Nana right when Shigaraki's about to awake. We do see Nana, we do see his family, yes. But we do see Nana, we see his family. There's been a lot of speculation as to how Shigaraki got his decay quirk. If he did get the decay quirk from, let's say, for example, a Shigaraki, if he did get it from an All for One, what if in some way or fashion, he's like, whoever you kill, or like,
it's like the soul,
like their soul,
like
is
their
taken
soul
into
is
the quirk.
taken into the quirk, and like
and
they
like
can haunt him.
So like that to me is something that is very interesting to see into the future, because you see that with One for All.
Yeah.
But One for All is like the PG-13 version of All for One. It's the very nice version. It's like, for example, best example is Sylar and Peter in Heroes.
Oh, in Heroes.
For anybody who's seen Heroes, and we know it fell off. It was a great show. I loved it. It fell off. It had
about that. Like, after the new one.
No, but you know, Peter, he by seeing your power could take your power.
Yeah.
And you know, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, but I mean, it's been like 15 years. I mean, go watch it. Get over it.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you look at it, Peter could see your power and he could copy your power and add it to his collection. Whereas Sylar could cut your brain open and take it, and
yeah, he has to get a specific thing.
in your brain. So to me, that is what I'm so intrigued about All for One, is like, we don't know how it works, and we've seen people survive him taking the quirk away.
Yeah. I mean, the best example of a person, like, of quirk, I believe so, is the dude from the, what's it called? The spin-off show? I forgot.
Vigilantes?
Yeah, the Vigilantes.
Knucklebuster?
Yeah, Knucklebuster. Spoiler alert. If you didn't, sorry if I already spoiled it. But All for One took his quirk, so he's probably one of those people that survived it. We got possibly other people that survived it, and we can take for example like 9 from Heroes Rising, even though it's not canon. But we can take him as an example that's probably how they steal the quirk. Like, he just grabs them and he just steals the quirk. That's simple.
We do see that Shigaraki has that little dot in his hand.
Yeah, his dot is like there, like the dot is like supposedly it shows like to throw pressure, like air pressure, but we don't know what the hell that dot still does.
Like an adaptation of the quirk.
Yeah, we don't know what that does.
But I'm very curious, guys. I really want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. You know, because this is one of those things that we just are really doing this to like talk.
Yeah, just to talk about it, because
it's
like it's good to talk about it, like, but like when it's just me and him just talking about it, I wish that we could talk about it with more people and know what they think about it. So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments down below.
If you guys enjoy this and we get, I don't know, a few more views, we gotta get some views on this, people. We wanna start doing this more, and you know, it just motivates us. We're gonna be trying to do this weekly. You know, whenever they release a chapter, we still haven't set a date, but you guys could expect us. But please subscribe to the channel if you guys enjoyed it. Drop a thumbs up, because we're a new channel and YouTube sucks, and we need all the support we could get. Tell other people about these theories. Tell them where you hear it. You know, just spread the word, spread the good word. And you know, I really enjoyed this. This was dope. It was very good getting this off our chest, and we're very curious to hear from you guys.
So just to let you guys know, we wait for you possibly next week with a great chapter. Next chapter is gonna be about what? Gigantomachia in
next week. It looks like we might get Gigantomachia and Mount Lady, and we see that they're trying to get to Shigaraki, which is the whole thing. It looks like it's gonna be intense. I'm pretty hype about it. We know that a bunch of Class 1A people are there. We probably might see Hawks. What happened with Hawks? We didn't see after Tokoyami flew off.
So pretty excited for the next chapter. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up in this moment then, guys. So we will see you next week. My name is Alan.
And my name is Ray.
Peace.